On a road trip with parents, probably middle school age, driving through rural Oregon. Basically, all forest and mountains. No major towns along this route. In the back seat, dozing off and not really paying attention to anything. Early evening, but it's still light out. Parents are talking quietly. Suddenly, Dad goes, "Do you see that?" Mom says yes. She sounds confused. I wake up at this point and kind of sit forward to see what's going on. Dad, "Is he wearing a ghillie suit?" Mom, "No, I don't think so." Still can't see what they're pointing at. As the car gets closer, Dad slows down. We're barely going 25 now. They can't figure out what they're seeing. Then, I see it. Someone is walking by the side of the road, really slowly. They're taking these weird, almost loping steps. They're covered in some kind of wool or fur or something. Very dark brown, almost black. Realize that whoever it is, they are fucking huge. My dad is tall, 6'4", and I knew this thing would be taller by at least 6 inches. We're almost beside it. Mom starts freaking out. Mom, "Speed up, go around it." Dad is in a trance or something. He can't stop looking at it. We are literally right behind it. Mom is practically crying. Everyone in the car looks out the window as we pull up beside it. It looks back at us. It is not a person. It has no face, just hair. In the middle of where its face should have been are these 2 tiny beady black eyes. It looked right at me. It was predatory. It lunges at the car. Dad floors it. The thing doesn't chase us, it just goes right back to walking slowly along the road. Mom is crying and hitting my dad's arm and telling him he's an idiot for doing that. Dad is pale and won't even react. Pull off at the first motel we see, spend the rest of the night not talking much. Definitely the weirdest thing we saw that trip. When I was little and slept with my mom and dad, my dad left for work, and then a voice in his tone asked me to scoot over so he can get in bed. I scooted over and my mom asked why he didn't go to work. She got up and turned the light on and no one else was there, and the truck was gone. We heard it leave before anything happened. Most paranormal thing that has happened to me, to which I can't explain to this day. About 4 years ago, it was approximately 12 a.m. I live in a fairly quiet but dangerous area. Reading a book in my lounge room by lamplight. See something suspicious through the slightly opened curtains. It's a guy in my neighbor's yard, which is across the street, looking in his window. The fuck? After a few seconds, this guy walks out of my view. Decide to spy on him cause he was sus. God damn it. He keeps on heading down the road, checking people's windows and cars, and sometimes their front door. He comes onto my side of the street, a fair way down. I decide to check it out. Go grab my .22 Magnum lever-action rifle, hiding it behind my back. Suddenly, this guy appears out from a house and looks directly at me. He's walking with a limp that I didn't notice before. Not knowing what to do, I go back inside and lock the door. Wake my fiancée up and tell her to ring the police. Aim at the door, chest height, and tell her that if he tries to come in, I'm going to unload through the door. Hear crunching outside. My heart is racing. As it gets closer, I hear the man say, "Fuck!" 2 cop cars rock up from both sides of the street, cornering him. He's forced to surrender and gets taken in. Turns out, he had a double barrel down his pants. And from what I was told, he was actually found guilty of breaking, entering, and murder. Supposedly, he broke into some guy's house and murdered him and his mom and dad while they were all sleeping. I got one from my dad. Be dad, years ago and still young. Him and friends pile into car for a road trip into Virginia. Driving up, high into the mountains and woods, having a good time. It gets dark and there's a sudden heavy rainstorm. Raining so hard that Dad can't even see the road, let alone see to drive. Drives blind for a while, sees a bright light up ahead. Dad drives the light, thinking it was a street light. Parks in front of light. Sitting in car, waiting for rain to die down. When all of a sudden, a humanoid shadow enters the light. Dad and friends staring in awe of shadow, thinking that Dad crashed a car, and they're seeing an angel. They keep looking at the shadow. Rain finally dies down, and see what it actually is. It's an old man. Dad drove through this old man's yard and parked right in front of his living room window. Dad, friends, and old man stare at each other for another second. Dad backs up car, cuts 2 donuts in yard, and floored it out of there. You guys want to hear a real spooky story? One that actually happened. This one still fucks with me. Be many years ago, young boy, probably 5 or 6 or something. My grandpa had this old trailer house. We were visiting at the time, and the parents were all out in the living room area, watching TV. Me and cousins were in master bedroom playing around on the bed. We were playing whatever game it is kids play at that age and had the lights out. Out of nowhere, my cousin begins yelling at us all to get behind him. He's practically petrified, looking in the direction of the windows. Scramble behind him and look at the windows to see what had startled him so badly. I remember the details quite well. The windows were open. It was summertime. First, I saw the white curtains moving with the wind. Then, I saw him. A man standing there, but there was no color to him at all. Like the typical see-through ghost you always see in movies and shit. Just completely see-through and void of any color. He was wearing a suit and he had this sad expression. I remember him looking very sad. I immediately freaked the fuck out and ran for the door. We had it closed. The door was near impossible to open. We were all trying our hardest to open the door. Cousins were right behind me trying to get that fucking door open. Finally, get it open, and we all run to each of our parents, crying and freaking out. Of course, parents don't believe children saying that they saw a ghost. Why would they? But it gets creepier. This is the part that really gets to me because I'm a skeptic. I don't typically believe in these kind of things, but this part makes my spine tingle every time I think about it. Years later, probably 11 or 12 now, watching one of those ghost hunter TV shows with my mom. Reminds me of said story. I mentioned something about seeing a ghost. She's intrigued and asks me to tell the story. I do. She goes pale. Backstory? My mom has a sister, my aunt, who became retarded at a young age due to a severe fever. Anyway, aunt is retarded and has mentality of a 5-year-old. Mom tells me that she liked Grandpa's trailer, but there was one room she refused to enter. Ever. And would freak out if you made her go into the room. Grandpa's master bedroom. Turns out that my grandpa's neighbor, after his wife divorced and left him, had hung himself on the porch right outside my grandpa's trailer. Deduced that the ghost we saw was him. Things just click, and I'm genuinely freaked. Tried asking my cousins if they remember. They don't. That one was a real spook. I still don't know if what I saw was real, or if it was just kids with an overactive imagination. But the things my mom told me clicked together like puzzle pieces. Still makes me spooked to this very day. I will never forget what that fucker looked like. All sad and shit. When I was a teenager, I had a cell phone with a never-used number. A few months after having the number, I start to get a call at midnight a few times a week from a blocked number. Half the time, I would answer it to only be greeted with what sounds like somebody running through woods, with their phone either beside them or in their pocket. This would last as long as I would stay on the phone. After a month, I get sick of it and start talking shit. As soon as I do, I hear raspy breathing. At first, I was happy it was something new. Then, I realized something was up. I keep talking shit, telling whoever was on the line that they were going to regret disturbing my 12 a.m. bubble baths with their stupid shit. A few seconds later, breathing stops, and I hear water running. What? Start to think that whoever this is wants me to be afraid. Fuck that, I ain't scared of nobody. Water sounds stop, and begin to hear a strange sound that I can't place. Sound gets louder. Problem is, I'm not only hearing it from the phone now, but from the back part of the house. Realize it's the back door being fucked with. Get the idea to start laughing on the phone while I grab my dad's 12 gauge. Sound stop. They start laughing. Wasn't quite so bothered until they started laughing. Then I felt doom and wanted to panic. Decide, fuck it, I'm not going to be a pussy. I go upstairs and open the studio's window. That's the only way on the roof. Get up there quietly and walk towards the backyard. See a tall guy in all black standing in the middle of the backyard, with cell phone to his ear, laughing. Shortly contemplate shooting him. He hangs up and looks, and does nothing but stare. Tell him to fuck off before I kill his silly ass. He points up and yells out, "Run!" He turns around and bolts for the woods behind my house. I stand confused, and a few moments later, I see two more people in all black run into the woods. That terrified me. Told my dad, who was out of town. He flew back that night and set up booby traps everywhere. Calls stop, and nothing has happened since. Saw someone write something similar to this. Got creeped again cause something similar happened to me. Be me, 8. Wake up in the morning. Go to watch some morning kid shows. Go there, watch something in TV. Suddenly, get sleepy. So sleepy that I lay down on the sofa and decide to sleep. Wake up in fucking hospital. Parents asking me how I broke my fucking leg. They tell me that I woke up and they found me watching TV. Then we had some breakfast and I went out to play. Somehow I broke my leg and crawled back to home. Dad found me and took me to the hospital. I do not remember any of this. I'm mind-fucked. Still, after years, my right leg is hurting before rain, or sometimes I don't feel it. And my walking changed. My right leg leans to the left when I walk. I rarely talk about this event, but since we're all on here goes. Be me, around 15 years old. One of my friend's dad died. Friend and his mom can't pay for the house anymore. Have to move out. Me and another friend help with moving. There were more people helping that day. Aunts and uncles, friends of my friend's parents. Nothing out of the ordinary happening all day. Friend and his mom are pretty sad though. Dad dying and losing your home sucks. Anyway, things go smoothly. Loading up the truck, did the living room and all of that. Last stop, the master bedroom. The room my friend's parents used to sleep. Just a regular bedroom. Big bed, a closet, and this old wooden cabinet with glass doors. Pick related, not the actual closet, but close enough. At this point, it's just me and my two friends in the room. Room is on the second floor. We decided to take the cabinet first. The top half was detachable, so we wanted to take that off first. Right at that moment, we stepped towards the cabinet. I swear to God, I get goosebumps just fucking writing this. We step towards the thing, and the ghost of my friend's father rushes and glides towards us. This smoky figure rushing out towards us, face like he was angry and screaming, sticking his hands out like he wants to fucking strangle us. All three of us fucking bolted out of that room. I think I didn't even touch the stairs to get down. I just fucking jumped down. Ran out of the house screaming. So everyone is just looking like what the actual fuck is going on. My friend that lost his dad just sat there, pale, staring into nothing. Like he totally just lost his fucking mind. We told the people there what we just saw. The mother goes totally nuts. Some guys go up there to check but see and find nothing. The rest finishes the moving the next day because my friend had to go to the hospital. He was never the same again after that. Like, always blank inside, when on medication. Dude rolled into shop, dodgy as fuck. Picks up a 1-liter bottle of Gentleman Jack's. I stand in front of door as he obviously proceeds to leave without paying. Nah, man, it's not free. Pay or leave it on the counter. He does the usual, what? What, cunt? Etc., etc. He can't swing because he has to hold his gentleman jacks in his hand. As I'm talking, he starts shaking his head at me. Think, what the fuck? I wasn't asking him questions, and it was just an unusual thing to do. Kind of walk towards him so he's further in the shop, back him towards the counter, rip the bottle out of his hand and throw it onto the chair behind the counter. Pick up bottle of wine in my hand and keep it by my side. Leave, or I'm just gonna call the cops, man. Abuses me and swears as he walks out. Check CCTV footage to print out his photo. What I see fucking terrifies me. As I was standing at the door, there was someone behind me. Can't tell exactly what it is, but the guy has what appears to be one of those big forearm-length screwdrivers at his right side. He quietly moved right behind me as I confronted this dude and was looking at him. That's why the dude was shaking his head. He was telling his buddy not to murder me. Was actually kind of thankful in hindsight, but fuck them, man. Lesson learned. Always assume there were more people outside if people were robbing on the inside. Lesson learned number 2. Have room behind you to move, but Jesus, you need to know what's there. Be me, 12 or 13 years old. I was on holiday, so with a group of friends, we planned a camping in the middle of some farms, crops and all that shit. We decided to sleep that night inside an abandoned farm in its second floor. Of course, we were in the middle of the night talking and sharing funny stories and that sort of thing. We hear a sound outside the house, like someone walking in the crops and getting closer to the farm. My friend told us to stop talking and paid attention to the footsteps. He was getting closer, was like in the living room in the first floor. My friend decided to have a look to see who's inside the house. He descends from the stairs, and when he is almost on the first floor, whatever was there screamed horribly. Not even a fucking human scream. After listening to the scream, immediately we ran like crazy and jumped from the roof. Then, we see this figure looking at us from inside the house. We decided to move on and ended up sleeping next to the road. The next day, we returned to that farm approximately at 10 or 11 a.m. because my friend didn't take his phone from there before we began to run. We see these human-like footsteps. Friend now has his phone, so we were about to leave the farm. Immediately after he takes his cell phone, we heard something brutally smash a door and close it. Start to run again immediately and returned to the town. Recently moved, new school, made some friends. Hanging out during lunch. Friend runs up. Guys, the dildo banditos have struck again. The what? Everybody gets up and runs to a locker that has a dildo superglued to it. It's mine. I wonder whose locker it is. Poor guy. I hope he has some good friends. I explain that it's my locker. They start treating me like I'm about to die. New friends avoid me the rest of the day. So confused. Walking home from school, I get jumped by 3 kids, wearing masks and sombreros. They beat the shit out of me with dildos. To this day, I am still really confused and disturbed by the whole event. Hey Anons, I know the location of a flesh gate near my house, and I'm planning on trying to kill it. I've got a knife that I'm going to coat in a salt, holy water, and oil mix. I've crafted a symbol for each of the major religions that I can wear, and soaked some of my clothing in blessed salt water. Is this enough protection to keep me safe? In before LARPing. See something paranormal. First thought, kill it. This fucking thing has been harassing my cat, and no one fucking messes with my kitty cat. Am I psychic? I have this ability to know where people are, even when I can't see them. Like, I walk into a room and see all the people there and close my eyes. And then, I will know where they are in the room until they move. I have to see them first though, otherwise, it doesn't work. That's called remembering, you fucking retard.